A warm welcome to all the viewers for the course Advanced Manufacturing Process, or you can say Advanced Manufacturing Technology. And myself Thiapal. Today I am going to give a brief lecture in this abrasive jet machining in my lecture 3. So abrasive, the term, what does it means? And here we are going to discuss about abrasive jet machining. So from the name itself, it suggests us that abrasive particle we are going to impingement over the workpiece to remove the material from the workpiece by brittle fracture in this particular process. Now what it is happening is that with the help of a nozzle and along with this abrasive particle, we are passing the air so that they are getting mixed together, and then it is getting impinged directly over the workpiece material to remove the material from the work surface to provide a better surface quality product. So before we proceed with this particular topic, let's have a look at the content. As you can see in this content, the first thing that it has been told that introduction of abrasive jet machining. That means what is basically abrasive jet machining is. Next it will be followed by working principle of abrasive jet machining. Later on we are going to have a look on the mechanism of abrasive jet machining. Next it will be followed up with abrasive jet machining setup, where we are going to have a brief description or illustration of the entire abrasive jet machining process. Next, we will be discussing about the process parameter. What are the effect of process parameter in material removal rate of that particular product? Next, the most important part of this particular process is a nozzle. How or which material it is used to make that particular nozzle? It is very essential for all of us to know, because according to the selection of material, the life or the longevity of a nozzle is determined. Next, where this particular process is applied or to which product we are manufacturing with this particular process, we are going to have a brief look at this particular applications also. Next, we are going to discuss about the advantages and disadvantages of this process. As we all of us know that every process has got some advantages as well as limitation. Similar way, abrasive jet machining has got several advantages, but we cannot ignore the limitations also. So now let's proceed to the next slide, where we are going to discuss the introduction of abrasive jet machining process.
So today we are going to start with abrasive jet machining. As I've already told you that in the content that we are going to have a brief description about this particular process along with some working principle. We are going to discuss about the various process parameters along with the effect of process parameter on material removal rate, its applications as well as its demerits, merits, all this point. So as I have told that abrasive jet machining, it is one of the non-traditional process, and in abrasive jet machining, a focused stream of abrasive particle carried by high pressure air or gas is made to impingement on the work surface through a nozzle, and the work material is made to impingement on the work surface through a nozzle, and the work material is removed by erosion by high velocity abrasive particle. So particularly from this particular figure you can see, this is particularly we are having with us nozzle, and what I have told that abrasive particle, these are the dot you can see black color, these are the abrasive particle. So these are basically getting impingement over where? Over the workpiece. So what we have told that abrasive jet machining, that is AGM, is in which where abrasive particles are made to impingement on the work material with a high velocity. The high velocity abrasive particle itself remove the material by micro cutting action as well as brittle fracture of the work material. And the most important thing is that if I consider in this process, you can see that basically the abrasive particles are of around 50 micrometer grid size, and they are traveling at a velocity of 200 meter per second from a nozzle of internal diameter of the nozzle is 0.5 millimeter. Basically, the high velocity abrasive jet, it varies between 150 to 300 meter per second. Now, the kinetic energy of the abrasive particles would be sufficient to provide material removal due to brittle fracture of the workpiece or even micro cutting by the abrasive particle. So now, if I move to the next slide, you can see what is the mechanism. Mechanism of what? Mechanism of AGM process. Now just have a look. If I go through this particular figure, here you can see fracture of workpiece is occurring, and what you are able to see, the abrasive grain is getting strike over the workpiece material, and you can see the fracture is occurring here in this way, and then this particular piece of material is getting removed in this particular figure, you can see, and you can see the cavity is generated. So if I just go through this particular process, or if I go through the mechanism of AGM, then one thing I can state that in abrasive jet machining, abrasive particles are made to impingence on work material at a high velocity. Jet of abrasive particle is carried by the carrier gas or air. The high velocity stream of abrasive is generated by converting pressure energy of the carrier gas or air to its kinetic energy, and hence high velocity jet basically helps to make the particle to get impingence on the particular workpiece. Nozzle direct abrasive jet in a controlled manner onto work material. The high velocity abrasive particles remove the material by micro-cutting action as well as brittle fracture of the work material. So how this is occurring? You can see this fracture, this is basically brittle fracture, or even you can say a micro-cutting action is basically occurring. So now we will move to the next slide. Now you can see that a proper setup has been shown here, or you must say this is a particular equipment that has been used to describe the various processes. So if I go with this one, first of all you can see that you are using an air compressor, isn't it? So this air compressor is helping you to compress the particular air. With the help of pressure control valve, it is allowing the flow of air to pass, and in dryer basically it is making the dry air. I mean to say removing the moisture from the air so that the mixture does not get affected by the moisture that is present in the air. After that filter is there, and through this again it is proceeding to which chamber? It is proceeding to mixing chamber. And you can see here in the mixing chamber, here in this mixing chamber, what is happening? That is from the abrasive feeder. From the abrasive feeder, what it is happening is that this abrasive particle is getting inside the chamber, mixing chamber, and it is getting mixed with the air, and then this abrasive mixed is flowing through this particular pipe, and then with the help of this nozzle is it ejected over the workpiece, and thus the fracture is occurring and the material is removing. So if I talk that in AGM generally some sort of things is occurring. What is that? The kinetic energy of the abrasive particle is sufficient to provide material removal due to brittle fracture of the workpiece or even micro-cutting by the abrasive. Now what is the physics of this process? If I want to know the physics of this process, then I must say the first thing is that the fine particles which size is merely 0.025 millimeter are accelerated in a gas stream. You can see that accelerated here, and then it is passing through the gas stream. The particles are directed towards the focus of machining. So this is directed. It is getting directed where? The focus of machining. As the particle impact the surface, it causes a microfracture and gas carrier fracture particle away. So you can see there is an exhaust is also there from where the gas can be get removed. Brittle and fragile work is better or it is preferred in this particular process. Now we are going to discuss about the abrasive jet machining consists of. Basically from this picture you can see there are so many things are associated. But basically if I consider what are the main factors that is consist of, then I must say 5 things is included. 1 is gas propulsion system, 2 is abrasive feeder, next is machining chamber, this is the machining chamber, and AGM nozzle, you can see this is the nozzle, and last is the abrasive, and that has been obtained from where? Now abrasive feeder. So now move to the next slide. So what I was talking that we are going to discuss about this all particular point, isn't it? So in this particular point when we are talking about the first point, we are talking about gas propulsion system. So supplies clean and dry air. Its main function of gas propulsion system is to supply clean and dry air, nitrogen and carbon dioxide to propel the abrasive particles. Gas may be supplied either from a compressor or a cylinder. In case of a compressor, air filter cum dryer should be used to avoid water or oil contamination of abrasive powder. Gas should be non-toxic. It should be cheap and it should be easily available. It should not excessively separate or sprayed when discharged from nozzle into the atmosphere. The propellant consumption is of order of 0.008 meter cube per minute. So again I am repeating, the propellant consumption is of order of 0.008 meter cube per minute at a nozzle pressure of 5 bar. And the abrasive flow rate should vary from 2 to 4 gram per minute for fine machining. Again I am repeating, the abrasive flow rate should vary from 2 to 4 gram per minute for fine machining. And if you used it for cutting operation, then it should vary from 10 to 20 gram per minute. Again I am repeating, if you are going for cutting operation, then it should vary from 10 to 20 gram per minute. Is that clear? Okay. Now we will move to the next part, that is abrasive feeder. This is abrasive feeder. Basically, abrasive feeder required quantity of abrasive particles is supplied by this particular abrasive feeder. The filleted propellant is fed into the mixing chamber where abrasive particles are fed through a sieve. The sieve is made to vibrate at 50 to 60 Hertz. What we are doing, I have shown you in the previous picture. If you go to this picture, this is the feeder, isn't it? This is the feeder. So this feeder is basically vibrant. At what Hertz? 50 to 60 Hertz. So that this abrasive particle may get ejected in the mixing chamber. Okay. The mixing ratio is controlled by the amplitude of the vibration of the sieve. So as I've already told, the mixing, it is basically getting vibrant with the help of the amplitude of the vibration of the sieve. The particles are propelled by carrier gas to a mixing chamber. I have shown you in the figure that it is basically propelled by a carrier gas to the mixing chamber. Air abrasive mixture moves farther to nozzle. The nozzle imparts high velocity to mixture which is directed at the workpiece surface. Is that clear to all of you? Okay. Now we will go with the next point, that is the mixing chamber. Basically, it is a well closed so that concentration of abrasive particle around the work chamber does not reach to the harmful limit. Again, I am repeating. Basically, it is a closed concentration of abrasive particles around the work chamber so that it does not reach the harmful limit. Machining chamber is equipped with vacuum dust collector. Special consideration should be given to dust collection system if the toxic material like beryllium are being machined. So if we are using some toxic material like beryllium, if you're going to machine, then a special consideration should be given to dust collection system because it is a very harmful one. Now we will be talking about the abrasive nozzle. Abrasive nozzle are usually made up of tungsten carbide and or you can say sapphire. Basically it is having a life of 300 hours for sapphire and 20 to 30 hours for tungsten carbide. Well, about the AGM nozzle we'll be discussing later. Now we are talking about the abrasive. Abrasive, what we are using? Aluminum oxide, silicon carbide, glass beads, crushed glasses, sodium bicarbonate. These are the common abrasive that we basically use in AGM processes. Now, there are some sort of selective abrasive that depends upon MRR. We will be discussing in the next upcoming slide. Now, we are talking about all the process parameter. Now, for successful utilization, again I am repeating, for successful utilization of AGM process, it is very necessary to analyze the following process criteria. What are the process criteria? First is material removal rate. So what I was talking, material removal rate, MRR. Okay. Next we can say geometry and surface finish of the work. Surface finish. We are talking about surface finish, isn't it? And next we are talking about wear rate of a nozzle. Nozzle, we are talking about what is that? Wear rate. Nozzle wear rate. Okay. Now, first of all, the process criteria are generally influenced by the process parameter that I am going to state below. First, we are talking about what? First, we are talking about abrasive one. So, if abrasive, we are going to select aluminum oxide or silicon carbide. What type of shape it should be? It should be regular, irregular or spherical. The size should vary between 10 to 50 micrometer. And what should be the mass flow rate? It should be between 2 to 20 gram per minute. Next we are talking about carrier gas. Basically composition, I mean to say what are the air it can consist of? That is air, carbon dioxide and nitrogen. Next come density. Density, I mean to say what it should be vary of air 1.3 kg per meter cube. For velocity, it should vary between 500 to 700 meter per second. What should be the pressure variation? It should be between 2 to 10 bar. Okay. Now we are talking about abrasive jet. Abrasive jet, that velocity should vary between 100 to 300 meter per second. Mixing ratio, basically it is a mass flow ratio of abrasive to gas. Next we are talking about, that is the standoff distance. It is also known as SOD. It should vary between, SOD, okay, SOD, that is standoff distance. And it should vary between how much? Now 10 to 0.5 to 15 millimeter. Here it is written 5 millimeter. It can be vary between 15 millimeter too. What is the impingement angle? It should be between 60 to 90 degree. Clear? Okay. Now we will be talking about the nozzle. Nozzle we are talking about what? Material should be tungsten carbide. Okay. And the diameter should vary between 0.2 to 0.8 millimeter. How much life it is happening? Tool life, you can see 10 to 300 hour. 10 to 300 hour for what? For SUF-free is a PPHIRE. Okay, for SUF-free. But if I talk about tungsten carbide, for tungsten carbide the hour varies between 20 to 30 hours. Is it clear? 20 to 30 hours. Okay, now we will move to the next slide. Now we are going to discuss about all the effect of process parameter. All the effects of process parameter on MRR. So first point that we are going to discuss right now, that is effect of abrasive flow rate and grain size on MRR. So you can see abrasive flow rate and we can see that what is the effect that is occurring for MRR. It is clear from the figure that at a particular pressure MRR increases with the increase of abrasive flow rate. As you can see, MRR is getting increased with the increase in abrasive flow rate. Okay, and is influenced by the size of abrasive particle. But after reaching to its optimum value, what it is happening? The mass flow rate decreases. You can see the mass flow rate decreases, or you can say that after reaching the optimum value, the MRR also decreases with further increase of abrasive flow rate. That means you are increasing the abrasive flow rate. To some extent it is getting increased, but then it is getting decreased. So this is the basic concept. Okay, now what we are talking about, that is, this is owing to the fact that mass flow rate of gas decreases with increase of abrasive flow rate. Hence, mixing ratio increases, causing a decrease in material removal rate. So from there we can come to a conclusion, that is mixing ratio. Whatever we are talking about this as the mixing ratio, this is getting increase causes a decrease in material removal rate. You can see from here the mixing ratio, if you are increasing it, what is the rate is getting decreased? The rate is getting decreased for material removal rate. Is it clear to all of you? Okay. Now we will be talking about effect of mixing ratio on MRR. We will be talking about effect of mixing ratio on MRR. Now you just have a look here. That is increased mass flow rate of abrasive will result in decrease of velocity of fluid and will thereby decrease the available energy for erosion and ultimately the MRR. It is convenient to explain to the fact by the term mixing ratio. So if I go with the term mixing ratio, let me tell you, mixing ratio, I am denoted by it mixing. So what we were discussing, that is the mixing ratio. Basically you can write for mixing ratio, it is defined as mass flow rate of abrasive particle, that is mass flow rate of abrasive particles by mass flow rate of abrasive particle by mass flow rate of carrier gases. Mass flow rate of CARR carrier gaseous. Okay, so this thing you have to keep in mind. Now we will be discussing about the abrasive flow rate for MRR. The material removal rate can be improved by increasing the abrasive flow rate. As you can see, if I want to increase the material removal rate, then I have to increase the abrasive flow rate. From here you can see the material removal, as we are going increasing the abrasive flow rate, the MRR is also getting increased. So the material removal rate can be improved by increasing the abrasive flow rate, providing the mixing ratio, and can be kept constant also. The mixing ratio is unchanged only by simultaneously increase on both gas and abrasive flow rate. So an optimum value of mixing ratio that gives maximum MRR is predicted by trial and error. It is a trial and error method, you can go with that. Next we can also discuss about the effect of nozzle pressure on MRR. As you can see, this is the gas pressure you are talking about. This is basically what the pressure is affecting the MRR in how, in what way. The abrasive flow rate can be increased by increasing the flow rate of the carrier gas. As I've already told that the internal gas pressure increases, abrasive mass flow rate increases, and thus MRR is also getting increased. So what we can do is that we have to increase the internal gas pressure. This will result in increase in abrasive mass flow rate, and this will help to increase MRR. As a matter of fact, the material removal rate will increase with increase in gas pressure. Now kinetic energy of the abrasive particle is responsible for the removal of material by erosion processes. The abrasive must impingence on the work surface with minimum velocity for machining glass by SiC particle is found to be around 150 meter per second. Now in the next slide we are going to discuss about the AGM nozzle. Okay, now we are going to discuss about the AGM nozzle. As I have already told you that AGM nozzle is basically made up of tungsten carbide or sapphire, which has got a usual life of 300 hours for sapphire, and tungsten carbide, it has got an lifetime hour for 20 to 30 hours, which has a resistance to wear. Nozzle is made up of either circular or rectangular cross section, and head can be straight or it can be right angle. You can see nozzle are basically of round shaped slot, another is rectangular shaped slot. Okay, and what we are doing is that round shaped slot is further divided into right angle nozzle or it is straight edge nozzle. Similar way for rectangular shaped slot also. Rectangular nozzle can be obtained or it can be obtained straight nozzle, straight edge nozzle. Now, one more thing is that it is so designed that loss of pressure due to bends, friction, etc. is minimum possible. With increase in wear of nozzle, the divergence of jet stream increases, results in more stray cutting and high inaccuracy. So what is the most important thing is that if wear of a nozzle increases, the divergence of jet stream increases and it results in increase in more stray cutting and there is lot of high inaccuracy. So we should always maintain about this particular issue. Now we are talking about the standoff distance. As you have seen already previously that we are talking about the standoff distance where you can see a distance is particularly maintained. Nozzle. This particularly it is termed as standoff distance. It is known as standoff distance. Okay, it is particularly termed as standoff distance. Basically, standoff distance is defined as the distance between the face of the nozzle and the work surface of the work. So you can see here, this is the nozzle, isn't it? And this is your workpiece. This is the workpiece, you can see. See, this is the workpiece, the distance. This is the workpiece. This is the workpiece. So these are the various standoff distance you can see. So we are going to study that if the standoff distance varies, then what it affects over the machining. Now, standoff distance has been found to have considered effect of the work material and accuracy. A large standoff distance result in flaring of jet which leads to poor accuracy. Flaring of jet which leads to poor accuracy. So you can see when the distance is 0.275, you are obtaining a good surface quality, isn't it? Now when it is gone to 1 millimeter, you can see a curve is occurring, then it is happening. When it is going for 1.5 millimeter, the curve is getting more. And when it is at 2 millimeter distance, it is getting more. So it is clear from the figure that MRR increases with nozzle tip distance or standoff distance up to certain distance, and then it again decreases. Penetration rate also increases with standoff distance and then decreases. Decrease in standoff distance improves accuracy, decreased curve width, and reduced taper in machine groups. However, light operations like cleaning, frosting, etc. are conducted with large standoff distance, and its value varies from 12.5 millimeter to 75 millimeter. So again I am telling, if you want a light operation like cleaning or frosting, then you need to have a standoff distance which should be maintained between 12.5 to 75 millimeter. Now let's move to the next slide. So these are the various abrasive particles that we have already discussed. That is, if I want to have, again I am repeating, if I want to have a very good cleaning or cutting, if I want to have a very good cleaning or cutting and deburring, then what type of abrasive we should use? Aluminum oxide. And the grain size should vary between 12, 20 or 50 microns. Now if I want to use for a similar application for hard material, if I want to use for hard material, then I am going to use silicon carbide. It should vary between 25 to 40 microns. If I want to give a matte finish, then the glass bead abrasive must be selected, and it should vary between 0.635 to 1.27 millimeter. Now if I want to have a application for etching and polishing process, then I must use dolomite, and the size should be 200 mS. Now if I want to go with cleaning, deburring and cutting a slot of material or light finishing below 50 degrees Celsius, then I must go with sodium bicarbonate, and the grain size must be 27 microns. Now let's move to the next slide. Now we are going to discuss about what are the applications of AGM that are basically we are using. Basically, abrasive jet machining is used for abrading or frosting glass more economically as compared to etching or grinding process. Secondly, cleaning of metallic streamers on ceramic, oxide on metals or resistive coating are performed by abrasive jet machining process. Thirdly, AGM is useful in manufacture of electronic devices, drilling of glass wafers. Okay, drilling of glass wafers, then deburring of the plastic, making of nylon, Teflon parts, permanent marking on rubbers, and cutting titanium foils. Next is deflashing small casting. deflashing small casting, engraving resistance, number on tufted glass, used for car windows. Next, it is used for cutting thin fragile components like germanium and silicon. Next, it is registered for trimming very easily and micro modeling fabrication. For what? Na electrical constant, semiconductor processing, and it can be also done effectively. Next, we are using it for drilling purpose, cutting purpose, deburring purpose, etching purpose, polishing purpose for both hard material and brittle materials. Now, most suitable for brittle and heat sensitive material like glass, quartz, sapphire, mica, ceramics, germanium, silicon and gallium. You are using abrasive jet machining process for performing machining brittle. And last, it is also good method for deburring small holes like hypodermic needles and for small mild slot in hard metal component. So you can see that abrasive jet machining has got so many applications over the other processes. Okay, now let's move to the next slide. Now, what are the advantages of AGM? Every process has got some sort of advantages and disadvantages. So first thing is that what is the advantages of AGM? First advantages is that high surface finish can be obtained. And obviously, as I've already discussed earlier, that high surface finish is obtained, it is directly proportional to your grain size. If particle size is 10 microns, then your surface finish will vary between 0.152 to 0.203 microns. If your particle size is 25 to 27 micron, then surface roughness will vary between 0.355 to 0.67 micron. If your particle is getting varied between 50 size micron, then your surface roughness will vary between 0.965 to 1.27 micron. Thus, from this particular figure you can see if the particle size is getting increased, the surface finish, I mean to say the surface roughness will also be getting increased. You can see the increasing rate in this micron. Next, depth of damage is low. Obviously, since it is having a brittle fracture or microscopic chip formation is since it is occurring, that's why the depth of damage is very low. It is near about 2.5 microns. Next, it provides cool action, cutting action. So it can machine delicate and heat sensitive material too. Again I am repeating, it provides cooling, cutting action. That's why it is always preferred for delicate and heat sensitive material. Next, process is free for chatter and vibrations as there is no contact between the tool and your workpiece. Next point what we are talking about, that capital cost is very low and it is very easy to operate and maintain this particular process. Next, the thin section of hard brittle material like germanium, mica, silicon, glass and ceramics all can be obtained by this machining. And lastly, it has the capability of cutting holes of intricate shape in hard material. So you should not forget that it can generate a cutting hole of intricate shape in hard materials too. So next we proceed to the disadvantages. Yes, every process has got some limitation. Similarly, AGM has also got some disadvantages, or you can say the limitation. What is the first limitation? The first limitation, it is telling that it is limited capacity due to low MRR. The material removal rate for glass is 40 gram per minute. In 1 minute, 40 gram material is getting removed. So this is the material rate is so low. Next is abrasive may get embedded in the work surface, especially while the machining soft material like elastomer or soft plastic. The accuracy of cutting is hampered by tapering of hole due to unavoidable flurry of abrasive. As I have already told, if you are increasing the standoff distance, if the distance is getting increased, then there is a taper of hole is occurring due to unavoidable flaring of the abrasive jet. Next disadvantages is stray cutting is difficult to avoid. Next, a dust collection system is a basic requirement to prevent atmospheric pollution and health hazard. Because I have already told, if you're machining some harmful material, then the gas that is ejected, it is affecting the atmospheric air and all those things. So it is increasing the pollution. So that's why it is little bit limited for this particular reason. Next is nozzle life is also very limited. If you go with tungsten carbide, 20 to 30 hours. If you go by Safari, it is 300 hours. So your nozzle life is also limited. Abrasive powder cannot be reused as the sharp edge are worn and smaller particle can clog the nozzle. So after performing one-time operation, you cannot repeat that particular abrasive for your next operation because of the sharp edge is getting destroyed, as well as it can get clogged to the nozzle. Lastly, short standoff distance when used for cutting, it damages the nozzle. Because as I have already told, standoff distance not only affect the machining of the workpiece, it also affects the nozzle. That means if you are using short of distance, that means though you are getting a very proper or accurate surface quality product, but it always damages the nozzle. So what I would like to say is that this is the end of the AGM process. It has got so many limitations, but there is so many advantages also. So from today's lecture that we can conclude that non-traditional process is playing a very important role in today's manufacturing process, because there are so many materials that cannot be machined through a conventional machining process. They are preferred to go with non-conventional machining process. So thank you for listening my video. Please stay connected with me. If you like my video, please subscribe the channel. And in the next lecture, I am going to talk about abrasive water jet machining. Thank you.